Welcome to Virtual Dine, Learn, and Move, brought to you in partnership with Prince George's County Health Department, Suburban Hospital, University of Maryland Capital Region Health, and the Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission, Department of Parks and Recreation, Prince George's County. Dine, Learn, and Move is designed to promote healthy lifestyle habits. Over the next 90 minutes, you will have fun, get up, and move. Learn everything about healthy eating and engage with our chef while watching a cooking demonstration. Let's get ready to dine, learn, and move.
Greetings and welcome to the March session of the 2022 Dine, Learn, and Move virtual experience. My name is Sharon Leiden and I'm from the Prince George's County Health Department. So on behalf of the Dine, Learn, and Move Collaborative Partnership, I'm here tonight supported by a team from the Prince George's County Health Department, the Maryland National Park and Planning Commission, Department of Parks and Recreation, Prince George's County, Suburban Hospital, and the University of Maryland Capital Region Health. We are so glad you could join us this evening to learn about healthy eating and active lifestyles. Whether this is your first experience with us, or if you are a returning participant, we hope you have a wonderful experience tonight. To help you with that, let's go over some technology tips. Tonight, we are on Zoom webinar. This means all participants will remain on mute throughout the evening, but you will be able to submit questions throughout the session at any time by typing in the chat box. You can find the chat at the bottom of your screen. At this time, I would like to introduce to you your chat box monitor for this evening. It's Jennifer Herrera from Maryland Capital Region Health. Jennifer, can you give us a wave? All right.
Hello, everyone.
There she is. So what we'd like to do now is test your chat box skills. If you would, please type your zip code in the chat box. This will also help us learn more about where you're joining us all from tonight.
We have a lot of people joining us from 20737, 20603, 20784. So we have a lot of folks from the area. 20747, 20706. So
it sounds like a lot of the counties represented. Thank you so much. It looks like you're chat box experts now. So let's try another Zoom feature by taking a class poll. Tonight, we'd like to know how many of you are joining us for the first time, or if you're a returning participant. Choose the best answer and submit. I see you're already pros at this. Wow, look at that. Amazing. Okay. Give it a couple more minutes here. All right. Looks like we have 7 new participants this evening. I'd like to welcome you on part of our partnership. And those of you who are returning, we are so happy that you're back with us for the session. So thanks again. And we have a full lineup of events for you tonight as we cover ways to make time for physical activity and healthy eating. So next slide, please. First, Erica is here this month to share her fantastic fitness tips with you before she leads us through a free-flowing yoga workout. This segment of tonight's program is brought to you by the Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission, Department of Parks and Recreation of Prince George's County. Next, in lieu of our typical nutrition segment brought to you monthly by the Prince George's County Health Department, we will have a health education segment featuring a guest speaker. To celebrate National Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month, Dr. Aline Charabati from the Hopkins School of Medicine, actually it's the Johns Hopkins School of Medicine, will teach us about how exercise, diet, and a timely screening are essential to preventing colorectal cancer. But rest assured, Sherma, our beloved licensed nutritionist from the Prince George's County Health Department, is also with us tonight to answer your nutrition questions. This health education segment of tonight's program is brought to you by Suburban Hospital. We will wrap up our session tonight with a live cooking demonstration from Chef Kim as she creates mouth-watering healthy recipes that you'll want to try yourself at home. This segment is brought to you by our health system partners, the University of Maryland Capital Region Health and Suburban Hospital. So let's turn our attention now to Erica. First, she will share some tips on how to become more body aware, and then she's going to get us up and moving. But one quick reminder, we're using Zoom webinar this month, which means we will not be able to see you while you move with us. Please continue to follow the safe reminders we have for you. Get some water, clear your space so there's nothing to trip on, and move at your own pace. Don't be afraid to take a break when you need it. And most importantly, have fun. Take it away, Erica.
Thanks so much, Sharon. Good evening, everyone. My name is Erica Nash, and I am here to share a few body awareness tips and then also to move a little bit. So let's get started, and I am going to start my timer so we can be nice and on time. So let's start with being more body aware. Sometimes we ignore what's right in front of our faces or what's right on our bodies. For example, do you do this? And I am guilty of this, where you're holding the paper right up to your face because maybe that print's a little small, or maybe you seem to have a pain that comes out of nowhere. Well, those are key hints that we need to check in with ourselves and be body aware. So what does that mean, being body aware? It's being conscious and connected to you and your body. It's also being aware of the position of your body and the movement of your body parts in relation to your muscles and joints. In other words, in plain language, it's basically knowing your body and knowing where it is. So what are some of the benefits of becoming more body aware? So being body aware, it can improve pain management. Evidence suggests that being body aware can reduce pain when approached mindfully. Another tick off our list here, knowing how to meet your body's needs. And this is really important. So when you're more body aware, you can better understand what you need from moment to moment. That means detecting the difference between hunger, thirst, tiredness, or emotional distress. For example, when you're tired, you'll get some rest. Maybe you'll take a nap and you won't grab for the greasy fries or grab chips. So you'll know how to meet what your body needs at that moment. And speaking of food, and I know we will have our chef a little bit later, when you're body aware, you prioritize knowing what foods are good for you and make your body feel good, and those that don't. And my favorite tip, what brings us here today, being body aware can help you develop better balance and stability. When you are body aware, you can develop this through a strong body-mind connection. And that's what makes yoga so powerful. So if you haven't already made room on the floor, push that chair out of the way, give yourself a lot of space. And we're going to do a flow here. But before we get started, I want to talk to you a little bit about props and how they can enhance your practice. So a lot of times people think you use props because perhaps there's something that you can't do. Props help you develop the possibility and the potential of what you can do. So it's a mindset thing. Now, anything can be a prop. These mats, those are props. This wall is a prop. So we want to be very expansive about what we think when we think of props. Now, tonight I brought a couple of things. I have a couple of blocks, and if you've ever taken classes with me in our beautiful parks here in Prince George's, you've probably seen these purple blocks. I travel with them. But if you don't have blocks, that's okay. Grab 2 sturdy, thick, heavy books, does the same thing. Also, you might want to use a strap to help you achieve positions easily. Don't have a strap? Grab a belt, grab a long scarf, does the same thing. I'm a big fan of options. So with that said, let's get comfy on the mat. So I'm seated now. You can lie back if you'd like, or if you'd like to sit in a chair, if getting on the floor is not as comfortable for you, you can sit in a chair, or you can sit in a chair because that's what you want to do. You want to do something different. We, again, fan of options. And so from here, we're going to just sit here, relax the shoulders, roll the shoulders up, back, and down. And lift the shoulders to the ears and then relax them down. And if you'd like, you can close your eyes. I will still have my eyes open. I will be here with you. And let's just start to breathe. Inhaling. Exhaling. Good. I always like to start with the breath before we begin. We'll begin slowly before we go through a little bit more of a flow. Inhale in through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Inhale and exhale. Now, if it's not comfortable for you to inhale and exhale through the nose, it's okay. You always want to do what's most comfortable for you. I'm a guide, but you are the expert on your body. So let's keep it in. Take a couple of more moments here. Good. Now I'm going to scoot my props to the side. I'm going to inhale the arms up and exhale down. And again, inhaling the arms up. Exhale down. One more time like this. Inhale the arms up. Exhale down. Now you can bring your hands to the side, and I want you gently with your head to look down and to slowly bring the head back. And again, looking down, taking your time, gentle movements, and then bring the head back. Now this time, the move is going to change slightly. So as we're looking down, we're going to round the back. And then we're going to emerge forward, heart forward, head up, and back down again. Rounding the back, rounding the shoulders. And one more time like this, wrapping the shoulders. And coming back up again. Sitting, facing me, to take it right here and gently drop it to your shoulder there. If you'd like, you can extend the opposite arm and give a gentle nudge if you'd like. Or you can stay here. Inhale, exhale, bringing the head up. Now the ear is going to meet the shoulder. Again, your option to extend the arm. Feeling a gentle stretch along the neck. And come back up. Now we're just going to make circles with the body. So from here, we're just going to make a big circle. Kind of getting in touch with your inner kid. And we're still warming up a little bit. One more circle, coming to the top top of the clock, so to speak. And now reverse it. Good. I think we're going to take one more pass here, making a complete circle, coming to the top. And now one more seated move here. We're going to extend the right arm and come up and over. Now, your eye gazes to the thumb. I'm going to turn and look towards you, but you look at your thumb and breathe, feeling the stretch on the side of the body and down. And coming down, other side, reach that other arm up, touch the sky, touch the ceiling, go beyond the ceiling, touch that sky, and then coming over. Good. And coming back down, shake it out. Now, from here, we're going to find our tabletop pose. So, extend the legs out, sweep them around, or you can roll over on your knees. Now, I am going to be here. We're going to be on our tabletop. So, we're on all fours. Now, I'm going to come up for just a second on my knees. And there goes my mic, but we're going to just roll. This is live, so we're going to roll with it. There it is. So, from here, I want you to hold your hands up. Spread the fingers wide. So when we're either on our tabletop or downward dog, don't bring the hands together, spread them wide. And now we're going to go back down into our tabletop and pretend we're putting our handprint on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And you wouldn't do that any old way. You would be really intentional because this is your handprint, right? So splat, splat. We're in that cement. Making the imprint, fingers are spread wide, arms are straight, neck is long. From here, we're going to do our cat and cow. So we're going to arch the back for our cat, and then come up for our cow. And I'm going to turn, you stay, I will turn for our cat. And keep going at your own pace. Again, don't move. I'm going to turn toward you. And we'll do that a couple more times. And now we're going to come to a neutral position. So the next move we're going to do is a downward facing dog. So from here, curl the toes under. And you want to push back into that upside down V that we're all familiar with. Again, keep those fingers spread wide, pressing into the earth. Relax your heels down as far as they can go. Don't force a thing. Your head and tailbones in a straight line. Breathe here. Now look forward. We're going to walk our feet to our hands. And again, there goes my mic. I'm going to hold on to it for just a minute. We're going to stay down here in our forward fold. Good. And from here, we're going to rise. Me and my headset. Hands come up and to the side. Now, hold with me for a moment while I put this back in. And let's hope it'll stay. Good. So now let's shake it out a little bit. And now let's find our mountain pose, also called Tadasana. Sounds simple. Sounds easy, but not simple. Now what I want you to do is take your foot, take the heel of your foot, and sort of line it up to where the arch would be. Then turn that foot around. It'll give you a good sense of where your feet should be. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Big inhale, big exhale. Now, next, what I want you to do is lift the toes. Good. Now, starting with your pinky toe, you're going to let the pinky toe come down. And each toe, until you get to the big toe. And hang there for your Tadasana. Inhale. here, we're gonna step a little wider. I'm gonna step off my mat just a bit. You can turn your toes out if it's more comfortable. That same move that we did seated, we're gonna do it standing. Raising that right arm, coming over to the side. Eye gaze up and over. And again, raising that other arm up and down. Good. Now bring the feet together. Inhale the arms up. And from here, we're gonna swan dive down to the floor. And now we're gonna do a half lift. Now, your half lift, your fingertips can touch the mat, or they can touch your shins, shoulders are back, neck is long, and come down again. Inhale the arms up. Let the palms, hands touch. Baby back bend. You can bend the knees, and coming back down, swan dive down again. Baby back bend. Not from here, half lift, and down. And now rise, flip the palms, hands touch. Now we get our baby back bend, and the arms come down, shake it out. Now let's move a little bit more. I'm gonna look to see where we are on time. So we've got a few minutes left. Let's go through this really quickly. I'm gonna step to the middle of the mat, and I'm gonna bring my legs out for warrior two. Now, imagine that you have a straight line between your heel here and that arch of the foot. So coming on down, no wimpy arms. Get those arms up nice and strong, looking over the middle fingers. Hold it here, nice and strong. Inhale, exhale. Now we're gonna come up and let the arms come down, and then bring the arms out again. Now you're gonna reach out. Now we're gonna find triangle pose. So coming on down, and this is where I wanna use my block. You can use it here, behind the foot. You can look down or look up. Excellent. Now the hand that's on in the air, we're gonna bring that down. You're gonna turn toward me, turn your toes toward me. And we're coming for a forward fold, keeping your elbows behind you, not to the side, back. So no chicken wings here. Good. Unless our chef's gonna grill them, and then maybe. All right, coming on up. Now bring your heels together. Toes, heels in, toes, heels. You can walk together or hop together. Inhale the arms up. Exhale down. And now we're going to step out, find that warrior two on the other side. So take a moment, bending this thigh. You want to imagine a through line from your knee to your heel. Keep it nice and strong. Inhale, exhale. And now we're gonna straighten the legs, bring the arms out. Nice. And then coming down for our triangle, looking down or up. But if you are newer to this, consider looking down. And again, we've got our block here, different heights. Now the hand that's in the air, that's going to come down. We're gonna turn our toes and your body toward me. Forward fold, elbows behind us. And now we're gonna come up. Bring the heels in, toes in, heels in, toes in. You can dance it together, step together, or hop together. Inhale, arms up. Exhale down. Now let's quickly come down to our tabletop position. Hold here for a moment. I'm gonna move the strap here. And now let's find a seated position for just a moment. Now from here, we're gonna stand up, we're gonna sit up rather, really nice and tall. Extend those legs. Now here's where the strap can come in. we're gonna come for a little stretch. So inhaling the arms up, exhaling. Now you can reach for your calf, your ankle, or your foot. Now, if you want to stretch yourself a little bit more, strap goes underneath the ball of the foot, keeping the neck long, and here you are. Inhale, exhale, coming center, inhale the arms up, and exhale other side. Again, go for your calf, your ankle, or your foot, or use your strap. Again, staying long. Inhale, exhale, and coming back to center. Inhaling the arms up, exhaling the arms down. Now we're going to find our simple seated position again. Good, good. Now from here, inhale the arms up, hands touch, and we're gonna turn over our right shoulder and look. Now I'm gonna turn around and look at you and talk, and we're gonna breathe here, inhaling, exhaling. Now, let's turn to the center, raising our arms, hands touch, and looking over the shoulder. Again, I'm turning to you so we can talk. So I can talk. You're in the move. Inhale, exhale. Now from here, lifting the arms up, hands touch. And we are exactly at 20 minutes. So if you have time, you can stay here for your Shavasana or return to it after you finish with class and with the demonstration. It's been my pleasure to share this flow with you. Namaste.
Wow. I feel calm, but yet energized, relaxed, but strong, and totally refreshed. Erica, for a great workout. We also appreciate the useful fitness tips you shared as well. So now we're going to move on to our next session, which was going to be a health education segment. However, our esteemed guest speaker has a work emergency. And so what we'll do is we will speak with her about getting a copy of her PowerPoint and any other resource information that she's going to share with us, and make sure you get that in our follow-up email. So we're going to move on to our nutrition segment that is going to focus on colorectal cancer prevention. So at this time, I would love to introduce our beloved nutritionist, Sherma Brasheau. Take it away, Sherma.
Hello, everybody. I'm happy to be on, and thank you for encouraging me to do this section. Colorectal cancer, I'm not a doctor, I'm a registered dietitian, so my focus will be basically more on food. But colorectal cancer is one of the, I would say, the number 3 cause of cancer death in our community. So next slide, please. What actually is colorectal cancer? The cancer is formed usually in the larger colon. And at the bottom, at the end of the colon, you know, that part where you see the feces or your rectum, that's where the cancer basically lodges itself. So we find that because it lodges itself at that part, we need to be more mindful of what we are putting in our body. You know, the colon gets rid of the waste product, what we are eating, the bad stuff, it goes into that, that's where it goes. And it can collect right there. So we have to be mindful of what we put into our system.
Sherma.
Okay, so let's,
Sherma.
yes.
Hi,
Yes.
Sherma. I have some wonderful news for all of us. Dr.
Oh, great.
Sherabadi is here. And so what we'd like to do, if you don't mind, Sherma, we're going to go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm saved by the bell.
And I'm going to just, I'm going to quickly introduce our guest speaker. We're so glad you were able to make it this evening. We know you are more than a busy doctor, but Dr. Aileen Charadabadi is the clinical director of the GI division and director of the Inflammatory Bowel Diseases, known as IBD Center at Johns Hopkins Sibley Memorial Hospital. She completed her residency in GI fellowship at Georgetown University Hospital, where she joined the GI faculty and established and led the IBD Center for 13 years before joining the Johns Hopkins School of Medical faculty in January of 2019. Dr. Chera Abadi lectures on IBD at national meetings and has advocated for patients with IBD on the Hill. She also uses social media to educate colleagues and IBD patients. She founded At Monday Night IBD, a Twitter platform that brings clinicians together to discuss the management of complex IBD cases, for which she received the Helio Gastroenterology Disruptive Innovator Award in 2019. She is actively involved in educational and advocacy activities and committees with the American Gastroenterological Association and with the American College of Gastroenterology. Dr. Chera Abadi was selected as a Washingtonian top doctor by her peers several years in a row. Welcome, Dr. Chera Abadi.
Hi, Sharon. Hi, everyone. Thank you for this very kind introduction. And I appreciate everybody's patience and trying to accommodate my schedule. I really appreciate that. I'm very excited to be here, first of all. Asking a gastroenterologist to talk about colon cancer prevention is in the month of March is the dream. March is Colon Cancer Awareness Month. And I'm very excited to be here and to talk about colon cancer and how we can prevent it. I want to keep the discussion and the conversation fluid. So I only have a few slides for you just to highlight what we're going to talk about. But what I'm really looking forward to are your questions, your insight, your input, your experience as we're moving forward with the discussion. So like my colleague was mentioning before I hopped in, people ask, would colon cancer affect me? Is this a common cancer? Do I really need to worry about it? And the answer is yes. Colon cancer is the third most common cancer in the United States, and it affects men and women. The lifetime risk of developing colon cancer in a man is 1 in 23, and in women is 1 in 25. So if you think about 25 people you know and you love, whether they're family and friends, one of them could develop colon cancer. And what's very important to realize is that most people who develop colon cancer actually have no family history of colon cancer. So not having a family history, not having symptoms, feeling good is not a reason not to get screened for colon cancer. We are all at risk of colon cancer, and it's important to get screened for it because colon cancer is actually one of the most preventable cancer there is, and we'll talk about why. So the other news that is important to realize is that traditionally we started colon cancer screening after age 50. And the reason is it's really after age 50 that we see an increase in the risk of colon cancer. But in recent years, we are seeing more and more younger people developing colon cancer. I think we all are still in shock and remember our beloved actor who died of colon cancer at age 43, who looked healthy, who was successful, had no external sign of being struggling with the disease. So it's very important to think about this. And this is why the GI societies and the cancer societies change the age where we start colon cancer screening to 45 instead of 50. So 45 is the new 50. It gives us all 5 extra years of youth. And it's very important to realize that we start screening at a younger age. And there's recent data that's really interesting, actually, showing that for people born around 1990s, there is a higher risk of them developing colon cancer, up to 4 times the risk of developing colon cancer than those born around 1950. And this makes us think about what could be going on in our environment that is increasing the risk of developing colon cancer, and we'll talk about that. So Having said that, so the age 45 to start colon cancer screening is really for the general population, for all of us. But there are some people at high risk of developing colon cancer, and these people benefit from colon cancer screening at an earlier age and more frequently than the general population. So if you have a family history of colon cancer or colon polyp, then you are a candidate for earlier colon cancer screening. And this is where it's very important to ask your family member and to be aware of our family history. Unfortunately, often in some culture or some families, having a chronic illness or cancer is taboo. People don't talk about it. So a lot of people don't know their family history. So it's very important to know your family history, and it's very important to discuss this with your primary care doctor, your internist, your gastroenterologist. Let them know what kind of cancers run in the family, not just colon, but other cancers too. Sometimes there are genetic syndromes that increase our risk of developing different cancer. And people are, it's very important to share this family history with your doctor so they can test you for genetic syndromes. And if you have that genetic syndrome, then you're also a candidate to get colon cancer screening at an earlier age. And certain diseases, Sharon was mentioning, my area of interest is inflammatory bowel disease. This is Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis. These are diseases where there's chronic inflammation of the bowel, and these diseases put our patient at higher risk of colon cancer, and they benefit from colon cancer screening at a younger age. But the other important message here is do not ignore any symptoms, any GI symptoms you might have, especially something that lasts for more than a few days. It's important to report this to your doctor, because now we do recommend looking for any colon polyp, colon cancer if someone developed GI symptoms at any age. So if you're 20, 30, 40, if you're feeling young and healthy and you see some blood in the stool, don't discount that to be due to hemorrhoid, right? This could signify something more serious. If you have anemia, so a low blood count, you could be losing a small amount of blood in the stool from tumors or polyps. So these are indirect symptoms. Anemia is an indirect sign, but having also GI symptoms, always report it to the doctor. Sometimes people are embarrassed talking about poop. Just remember, gastroenterologists love talking about poop. Primary care doctor wants to know, they want to know what's going on with you. We all prefer to prevent a serious illness than having to deal with a serious illness. So don't let embarrassment of talking about GI symptoms prevent you from seeking care and getting the right evaluation. So how do we do colon cancer screening? I'm going to show you actually this slide first. So I was saying how colon cancer is one of the most preventable cancer that we have. Think about other cancer screening or other cancer tests. So for example, for breast cancer, when we do a mammogram, we see a cancer. We don't really have a way to detect the lesion before the cancer. Lung cancer, we detect it when it's already a cancer. For colon cancer, it's different. All colon cancers start with something called a polyp. So if you see here on my screen, these are polyps. They come in different sizes and shapes. So polyps are like little growth in the lining, in the inner lining of the colon, like little mushrooms. And polyps are not cancer, but with time, they can turn into cancer. So when we do a colonoscopy, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for these polyps. And we want to remove them before they turn into cancer, all right? The other advantage of colonoscopy is that if we detect cancer already in a polyp, and if we detect the cancer early, it's curable. That is the beauty of it. Unfortunately, if we detect the cancer late, when it's larger, when it's invading the whole bowel wall, etc., this is a different ballgame. So it's very important to realize that the reason we recommend colonoscopy or other colon cancer screening is because we can prevent the cancer. So what we want to do is detect these little polyps, take them out before they turn into cancer. So now that we talked about what we see on colonoscopy, what kind of screening is available to everyone out there? So colonoscopy is the gold standard. The reason is we can see the polyp, remove the polyp, and we're done. So in one step, we see, remove, it's a treatment at the same time, and we're done. Of course, the thing that people, worry most about is the prep. So in order for us gastroenterologists to be able to see the lining of the colon clearly and find these polyps, we need to get rid of the stool, right? So if you've heard story of people drinking the prep the day before, being on liquid diet, drinking a prep that, basically it's a strong laxative that cleans out the stool, that's really the hardest part. I had my colonoscopy last year and I spent my day complaining and about this prep, and then I felt ashamed of myself. I said, I'm doing this for my colon health, and I'm glad I did this because, that prevented a colon cancer. So this is a colonoscopy. Now, if colonoscopy is not the right test for you, you're worried about the test, you don't want to drink the prep, there are other reasons, there are other tests that can be done. A virtual CT colonography, it's a type of CT scan that is a special type of CT scan that can look at the lining of the colon and look for polyps. You still need a prep though. And, during the test, the radiologists need to put in some air in your colon to distend it to be able to see polyps. And then if you have polyps, you still need to go for a colonoscopy. And then there are stool tests, and there are two types of stool tests. The FIT test is a stool test we've been using for a long time. It's a test that needs to be done once a year. It's looking for a small amount of blood in the stool. That is an indication that there could be a polyp or a tumor. So it's done yearly. And if it's positive, then you need a colonoscopy. And there's a newer stool test called stool DNA. This one is done every 3 years. And again, if it's positive, it can signify that there's a polyp or early cancer. And so we need to go for colonoscopy. So this is what I have for you in terms of what are the options. So if you remember, I was saying how the risk of colon cancer is now increasing in our young people. Actually, in people above age 50, we see less colon cancer now because we're screening people above age 50. But unfortunately, we're seeing an increase in colon cancer in people younger than age 40. Like I mentioned, if you're born in the 90s, you're actually a higher risk of having colon cancer than if you're born in the 1950s. And what changes during that period of time? It's really our environment, right? So we have to think and look back. What is it in our environment, how we live, our lifestyle, how we eat, etc., that could be affecting our risk of cancer. And studies have shown that the usual culprit also play a role in colon cancer. So if you, if you don't exercise regularly, if you have a diet low in fiber and high in red meat, that puts you at high risk of colon cancer. If you drink alcohol excessively, if you're a smoker, that increases the risk of colon cancer. But also what happened between 1950 and 1990 is like the explosion of processed food, fast food, added sugar in a lot of the meals. You buy a soup and there's sugar in it, you buy bread, there's sugar in it, etc. So if we want to do a lifestyle modification to help decrease the risk of colon cancer, it's important to do, what usually we recommend for everything else, for heart health, for colon health, for our mental health, is exercising regularly. Pick something you enjoy, because the worst thing you want to do is force yourself to exercise and feel horrible about it. So pick an activity you enjoy, whether it's yoga, walking, running, jumping rope, whatever you want to do. Eat more fruits and vegetables, limit red meat consumption, limit alcohol consumption, avoid smoking, and really be mindful on what we're eating. And the more we eat natural food, so if you look at your food and it's something that occurs naturally in nature, it's something you can eat. Everything in general that comes in a package, in a box, in a can, it's processed. There's added sugar, added preservative, and added emulsifier. All these things are changing our gut microbiome. There's healthy bacteria that live in our gut and can increase our risk of colon cancer. So I'm going to stop here because I would love to hear your thoughts. If anybody had a colonoscopy recently and want to tell us how easy it was, please share it with us. But we'd love to take also any questions you may have.
Are there questions for our doctor?
There's none in the chat box that I see. I'll give maybe you folks a few minutes to type them in.
Some participants have their hands raised, so.
Yeah, and can they come in live and ask their question? Okay, so.
Okay, we have a few.
Yeah, I
Oh,
see.
sorry.
Phil.
I
Okay.
see a few coming in. They just needed some time to.
Yeah. Okay,
Um,
these are great questions. All right, let me try to start from top. Okay. Somebody is thanking, of course, I thank you for being here, and it's very important to, I'm glad you guys are joining these educational conferences, but also it's very important to spread the word, right? A lot of people don't know that colon cancer is something that can affect them. Often women think that it's only a man disease, and often people think if I'm not having any symptoms, I don't need to do anything. So please spread the word that it's important for everyone to get a colon cancer screening. Somebody asked, what are some questions we can discuss with our primary care doctor? So, when you talk to your primary care doctor about colon cancer screening, talk about the different tests. If you have a family history of colon cancer or colon polyp, if you have GI symptoms, if you have a genetic disorder, if you have inflammatory bowel disease, then the test that's appropriate for you is colonoscopy. The stool tests are not appropriate for people at high risk. And then discuss about the different tests. And then when you talk to your gastroenterologist, honestly, the hardest part is the prep, is being the day before on liquid diet and taking the laxative. And fortunately, we have better preps now. So when I started practicing as a gastroenterologist, all we had was a big gallon of salty water, and it was just disgusting, honestly. And we have different prep now. Some preps, you can mix with Gatorade. It tastes like Gatorade. Some preps are smaller volume. So if you're someone who cannot take in a lot of fluid, that could be better, a right prep for you. So talk to your doctor how you can, kind of find the right prep for you. Some of the tips I've had actually from my own patients, so that was helpful when I had my colonoscopy, was to chill the prep. So anything cold is easier to take in, and use a straw so you don't taste it in your mouth. And, I would bite on a little lemon after I drank the prep, so I take away any bad taste in my mouth. And for people who have difficulty being on liquid diet the day before, there are some data now showing that if you have a low fiber food in the morning, you still have a good prep. So something like cheese, white bread, so something to hold you for that day. So talk to your doctor about how you can personalize, if you want, your prep experience, so that to make the test easier for you. The test itself is easy because it's done under sedation. You don't remember anything. There's an anesthesiologist monitoring you for the sedation, and the gastroenterologist is focusing on finding the polyp. Someone asked, how often should you take the test? Very good question. So once you get your first colonoscopy, if it's normal, you don't take it for 10 years. So if it's normal, if you have no family history, no risk factor, we're good for 10 years. That's because it takes a polyp up to 10 years to develop. So we have time, we have 10 years. If you have a polyp that we take out, or number of polyps, depending on the number of the polyps, the size, then your gastroenterologist is going to recommend you come back earlier than 10 years. It means you have a tendency to make polyps, and we need to keep a closer eye on you. The stool test, like I mentioned, the FIT test is once a year. The DNA test is every 3 years. The virtual colonoscopy is every 5 years. So the reason the other tests are done more frequently is because they're not as good, if you want, as a colonoscopy. So colonoscopy give us full reassurance we're good for 10 years. So I hope that answered the questions.
Sorry, I'm kind of monitoring the chat. We have time for one more question.
Okay.
And what we're gonna do, we're gonna copy all the questions and maybe follow up with you later, just in the interest of time. So I think the question after the one you just answered, I think you mentioned.
I think we addressed some of them. Maybe what age is it reasonable to stop getting screening? So this is a very tricky question, honestly. So the recommendation, if you had 2 colonoscopy by age 75 that are normal, you can stop. Having said that, these recommendations were done several years ago, and we have very healthy 75 years old, and that probably are going to have a much longer life. So it's a discussion to have. And what I tell people is, if they had 2 colonoscopy that were normal by 75, they are due for a colonoscopy for a screening in 10 years. It doesn't necessarily have to be a colonoscopy, right? Hopefully in 10 years, there are other stool tests or, another way to screen if it's indicated. So I think that answers few of the question asking about age.
Yeah. Thank you. And like I said, we'll copy the questions and follow up after.
Okay, very good. Well, wonderful. Thank you for having me. Have a great and healthy night and a healthy year. And if you're 45 and above, make sure you get your colon cancer screening test. If you have any symptoms, please talk to your doctor.
Thank you so much, Dr. Charabati, for taking your precious time to join us this evening and sharing with us how to exercise, how exercise, diet, and timely screening are essential to preventing colorectal cancer. That's a tongue twister. Thank you again. All righty, now we're going to say hello to Chef Kim for our live cooking demo. Did you know that this month is also National Nutrition Month, which focus on food flavors of the world? Today, the recipes our chef is demonstrating uses one of the world's oldest flavor, curry powder. Curry powder is a blend of spices used for centuries by the Indian and Caribbean cultures. Don't forget, we'll be taking questions. So
recording on.
Use the chat box feature to type a cooking question for Chef Kim or a nutrition question for Sherma. We hope you're able to join us through the end of the demonstration, but if you must log off before 7:30, a link to our evaluation will pop up on your screen. We ask that you take a few moments to complete it tonight so we can better serve you in the future as we plan our upcoming Dine, Learn, and Move sessions. Your feedback is very important to us and impacts our ability to continue bringing you this program virtually. Okay, Chef, I'm turning it over to you.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. I'm excited to share with you 2 recipes this evening. We're going to be making a vegan coconut chickpea curry with brown rice. And we're gonna make a mango lassi smoothie for dessert. Yep, we're having dessert tonight. So let's get started. But just let me go over a few highlights of this recipe. This recipe promotes healthy aging. It promotes a healthy immunity. It promotes a healthy pregnancy. It's soy-free, it's nut-free, it's dairy-free. And most importantly, you can make it vegan, vegetarian. It's high in fiber because of the chickpeas, low in sodium, low calorie. I am excited to try this great dish this evening. Let's get started, guys, on this dish. First, we're going to heat up our saute pan on a medium to high heat. Let's start off with medium. We're going to use our measuring spoons to measure out 2 teaspoons of canola oil. And as our oil is getting warm in our pan, we're going to chop up some onions, some bell pepper, and zucchini. So I'm going to show you how to properly cut an onion because that's important, right? We want to cut off this root first. And then you want to make sure that you lay your onion on that flat surface, cut in half, and peel off those layers. Now, the most important thing in a kitchen is making sure you have a sharp knife, guys. Sharp knife is important because the common mistake in the kitchen is a dull knife. So we want to make sure we have our gloves, a clean sharp knife, a clean cutting board. And what I'm doing here is I'm making slits in my onion, and then I'm cutting across the slits, and then I'm cutting down to create the diced onion. Now, a cool trick when you're slicing onions is to pop it in the freezer. This will help prevent you from your eyes watering. My eyes water all the time from cutting onions, so I always like to use this trick. So, great thing about this dish, as I said, is high in fiber. We want to make sure that we have our 2 teaspoons of olive oil and canola oil or avocado oil in our pan. I'm going to add this to 1 cup of chopped onion, 1 cup of bell pepper, Here, you want to make sure you cut off the lid and then cut all of those membranes out of the bell pepper. And we're going to properly slice it. Now, how many of you love a good Indian dish? Now, as our specialist said, to promote or prevent colon cancer, you want to stay away from a lot of red meat. Well, this doesn't have any meat. It has chickpeas, it has spices, it has curry, it has spinach, it has onions, zucchini, and it's super simple to make. Right now, I'm just chopping up our bell pepper. And you want to make sure that all of your veggies are evenly uniform so they can all cook properly. And I'm going to add them right to my onions. Now, this dish also has vitamin A, vitamin C, and the benefits of vitamin A and vitamin C are all in context of having a healthy immune system, right? It's promoting eye health, it's promoting bone health. And we're gonna get on this zucchini in a bit. Right now, I'm just adding in my bell pepper.
Oh, I have a question. I think this may be geared towards Sharma. Is curry as beneficial as turmeric?
Curry actually has turmeric in it. Curry has turmeric, it has cumin, it has coriander, ground coriander, and spices. And curry actually helps with inflammation. So this is perfect for inflammation. And Sharma, you can help me on this.
Yes, turmeric is excellent too, because turmeric also is anti-cancer causing, and it also helps the digestion. It can be used, curry is the blend of all, as the chef said, it's a blend of all these spices and herbs. So, you know, if you can use them, so you can use cumin by itself and you can use turmeric by itself.
Absolutely. And I mean, you can do like a turmeric rice and you'll still be gaining the benefits of using curry. Right now, I've just chopped up, I've cut my zucchini in half, and then I split it in half, and now I'm just cutting it down the middle. But right now I'm using zucchini. Zucchini you can find year round, but it's also good for preventing cancer, diabetes. It also helps in weight loss, promotes eye health, and also helps, it's known as an antioxidant, right? So we're gonna definitely add zucchini to our dish, guys, all of it. You wanna make sure you have a big old spoon to kind of saute your onions and peppers and zucchini around. This is gonna cook for about 5 to 6 minutes, right? Also in this dish, just so you know, we're gonna add in chickpeas and fresh baby spinach. Spinach is like a power food, right? This is something we should always try to incorporate in our diet. It's a power food. It's green, leafy. It prevents cancer. It helps promote weight loss. It promotes eye health. It helps with hydration. You can eat it for breakfast, lunch, dinner. You can put it in a smoothie. It has all impacts of a healthy lifestyle, guys. And we're adding it right to this dish tonight for our curry. So we're gonna let this saute up here. And just mind you, we're not adding any salt and pepper to the dish because we have a pre-made curry sauce. Now with the curry sauce, we'll be using a 1.5 cups of curry that we bought in our local grocery store. And with the curry sauce, you want to find it in your international aisle. And you want to look for a sauce that has 400 milligrams of sodium or less, right? You want to definitely check the nutrition factors. You want to also make sure that if you're trying to keep it vegan, the sauce needs to have no dairy or no fish sauce. But this is definitely a vegetarian dish. Okay. What I have here is I'm sauteing my onions, my bell peppers, and my zucchini. And if the onions and peppers start to brown, guys, turn your pan down. That means the temp is up too high. So we want to make sure that we have our onions sweating and not browning, okay? Let me show you what it looks like so far. Can you guys see this? And it smells good. I love the smell of cooked onions in the house. Makes me feel like I'm doing something special, right? It reminds me of childhood. So let's just recap. We have 2 teaspoons of canola oil, or you can use avocado oil, which is a healthy fat, which is promoting our healthy lifestyle. We have 1 cup of chopped onions. We have 1 cup of bell pepper. And then we chopped up 1 medium zucchini, right? And added it to our saute pan. Our next step is to add in our chickpeas, right? And chickpeas add so much fiber to our diet. Any bean, really. But I love chickpeas and I love it with curry. We talked about how curry can reduce inflammation, but let's talk about the benefits of adding beans to our menu. It packs fiber. Fiber helps us stay full longer, so it can promote weight loss. And it also, as our specialist mentioned, having a high fiber diet, eating less red meat will help prevent colon cancer. So this is such a perfect dish for tonight. I'm so excited. Right now, we're gonna add, I've rinsed off, these were a can of beans, 1 can of beans, chickpeas. I've rinsed and drained them. Why do we wanna rinse our can of chickpeas? Do anybody know? Put it in the chat, let me know if you know. I'm adding it to my saute pan, guys. Anybody know why we're rinsing off our chickpeas, our canned chickpeas?
Some folks have said sodium, salt, reducing salt.
Yes, yes. It's all in playing a healthy lifestyle, reducing our sodium intake. All canned vegetables contain salt. So we always, even if it says low in sodium, you want to make sure you bring them home. You want to pour that juice off of our canned vegetables or beans, and we want to rinse them again, right? Just to make sure that we're getting it all. Okay. So I just put in 1 can of chickpeas into my saute pan, and I'm going to add my 1.5 cups of curry sauce, right? I'm going to add that right to our dish. But keep in mind when you're adding our sauce, you don't want it to pop off. So just turn your pan down a little bit. And I love curry. If you find a good curry in the store, you can put it over chicken, you can put it over fish, you can change out your beans, you can make, anything with a curry. I love curry. All right, we just added it to our saute pan. We're gonna add in some vegetable broth. I'm gonna measure this out using my measuring spoon, 1/2 cup here. Measuring is so important, especially when you're trying to watch your sodium, your carb intake. So I've just added in a 1/2 cup of vegetable broth. I'm gonna give this a quick stir. And we're gonna let this simmer.
Chef, I think you mentioned this already, but did you make the curry sauce or do you purchase the curry sauce?
No, this is so simple. We went to a local grocery store and we bought a coconut curry sauce, right? So this has the curry in it, the turmeric, the cumin, the coriander. Super simple. Some people get intimidated with making a curry sauce. Well, now they have all types of brands, low sodium brands, with dairy, without dairy, that you can purchase. You just have to read the back of your nutrition facts of the label and purchase one that works best for you. So this is a purchase curry sauce.
Is there a recipe for curry sauce that you may recommend?
I can definitely forward a recipe for a curry sauce that will be more spice forward. But there's so many out here on the shelves as well. But I can definitely forward and they can post it with the other recipes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so I've added a half a cup of vegetable broth to our dish. And here we have left is 4 cups of baby spinach. And did I mention that spinach helps prevent cancer? It flushes the radicals out of our body. It's a power food. We should use it every day, right? It's super green for us. It promotes weight loss. It helps with diabetes, bone health, hypertension. I mean, spinach is a plus, okay? We're gonna add this to our dish. And make sure that once you add the sauce, that you put it on low temp, because you don't want it to splatter. Okay, so you can add in half, give it a nice stir, and then add the other half, because you know it's gonna wilt down. And you can even switch up the spinach. You can add kale. Kale is another power food, green leaf vegetable. So you can switch this up and add different variations. You can add squash and zucchini. You can switch up the bean. You can do all things. You can add red peppers, mushrooms. You can be really creative with a curry, trust me. How many of you like curry or haven't tried curry? Okay, I'm gonna add the rest of my spinach into my dish. Now that some of my spinach is wilted, I'm able to add it all in there, right?
Chef, another question.
Yes.
What section in this grocery store do you recommend or where we can find curry sauce?
Great question. You can look into the international aisle where they have Mexican food for tacos, or they have Indian fare, or they have, it may or may not be in the pasta aisle, but definitely there is an international aisle.
Would you recommend using frozen spinach or other frozen veggies with this recipe?
Listen, spinach is spinach, whether it's frozen or fresh. I prefer fresh. But frozen spinach will work perfectly fine. You can get the chopped frozen spinach in the block. It will still pack the same nutrients as a fresh, right? Except for the fiber will be broken down a little bit, right? But you can definitely use a frozen chopped spinach. They have frozen whole leaf spinach now. They have frozen veggies where you don't even have to chop any of this up. They have chopped vegetables where you don't have to do anything these days. You can buy everything chopped, frozen, and it'll all work out. A great question.
Are there other curry sauces that are less spicy? And what are those, if you know?
Oh yeah, you can check the label, right? Because there are different curries. You can have a red curry, you can have a green curry, you can have a yellow curry. There are several options on the shelf, but do not be afraid to try them all, right?
Right now,
yep.
Sorry, you have a lot of questions. Everyone's interested in curry. If you have to use curry powder, how much would you add for this recipe?
I love curry, right? So I would add 1 tablespoon of curry. But for someone that's just beginning, I would say 2 teaspoons. That's a good start, is 2 teaspoons. But what you will want to do is you will want to toast the curry powder first, right? Any dry spice, you want to make sure that you toast it first so that it can develop the flavor, bring the flavors back to life, right? Because it's been on the shelf. And then make your curry. So start with 2 teaspoons. If you love curry, you can go for 1 tablespoon. Right?
Are there, would you recommend in substitute of a curry sauce, what would you recommend with this recipe? Not
if you don't like curry, or
yeah. Yes.
If you don't like curry, you could just do a quick saute with the spinach, the chickpeas, the onions, the peppers. You can add extra veggies, right? You could just omit the curry sauce if you're not a curry fan and just do a quick stir fry with the brown rice. You can add the soy, make it a Asian flair and do the soy stir fry with the same veggies.
Is color the only difference in types of curry?
Repeat the question.
Is color the only difference in types of curry?
No, it depends on the spice level, right?
Okay.
And where it's from, because you can have
I would just add to that. Yes, it depends on the spices that are used, and certain ethnic groups usually will have a higher, stronger flavor of the curry. So if it's something, if you're the first time using it, try a smaller amount, as the chef said, and look at it. Look at the color also. Some people may not want their rice or their food to look bright yellow or red. So buy a small bottle first and test it out before you go for a larger bottle. Read the label and look at the where it's from, because there's from India, the Caribbean, there's Japanese, there's all different flavor and types. So you get a smaller package first before buying it. Don't buy it in bulk.
Yep, thank you, Sharma. I was gonna say that. And for me, I love all curry. It could be from Asia, it could be from India, it could be from Jamaica. I love it. But if you're looking to start out, I would just start, as Sharma said, very small portion to see if you like it, see if the spice level is right, and go from there. But it's such a great discovery to know about different curries, where they're from, different colors, different spice levels. It's just an exploration to definitely dive into. All right.
How would you recommend roasting the spices to make a curry?
I would recommend a dry saute pan, right? So I would take a dry saute pan, put in my 2 teaspoons or 1 tablespoon of curry into a dry pan and let it toast for about 30 seconds. Okay, right now we're gonna make a mango lassi smoothie. This is just simply an Indian smoothie. And we can treat it just as we would our own smoothie. We can do it for the afternoon, but in this case, we're gonna do it as a dessert, right? And it will pair well because we're using fresh mango, 1 cup of fresh mango. I've peeled and chopped these myself. We're gonna use peach sorbet, a little bit of orange juice, and non-fat vanilla Greek yogurt, right?
Actually, she hungry then, because I'm still eating.
So I paired the mango lassi smoothie to this spice forward dish because the sweetness will balance the spiciness. Okay. So right now I'm going to add in 1 cup of chopped, peeled, fresh mango. How do you know if a mango is fresh, is ripe? Does anyone know? How do you know if it's ripe? Put it in the chat. Let me know. How do you know if a mango is ripe and you can use it?
Well, someone asked, how do you cut up mango? And then the answer, someone said color and firmness.
Right, firmness. So basically, you want to just make sure that you peel the mango. Now, in every mango, there's a large seed in the middle, like an avocado. It's not as round as an avocado. It's almost like oval, but it's not edible. So you're going to have to peel it and cut around the seed, right? But as far as ripeness, when you're in the grocery store and you're trying to make a dish for tonight, you want to make sure it's firm to touch, but not too soft where it leaves a print. You can feel it, it's not hard, but it has like a bounce back to it. That's when you know you can eat it the next day. Now, if it is firm and you don't plan on using it right away, a secret is you can put them in a brown bag and let them sit on a counter, on your table, and they will get ripened. Okay, so mangoes. It supports our heart health. It improves digestion. It promotes having diabetes, reducing blood sugar. I mean, it can raise your blood sugar, but also it promotes healthy living, right? Because it's fresh, we peeled it. Eye health, heart health, improves digestion, and supports diabetes. So right now I have 1 cup of chopped fresh mango, a 1/3 cup of peach sorbet that you can find in your grocery store. Sorbet is different from ice cream. Sorbet is just pureed fruit. This is a 1/2 cup of non-fat Greek vanilla yogurt. Vanilla is going to give us that flavor. Yes.
Can the Greek yogurt be substituted with almond milk yogurt?
Yeah, absolutely. You can definitely add the almond milk. Right now, I've added in a 1/2 cup of non-fat Greek yogurt. Yogurt is good for your gut, right? And then we're gonna add in a 1/4 cup of orange juice. Now with the orange juice, you can do diet orange juice to reduce the sugar. You can use a low-fat sorbet if you're trying to watch the carb or sugar intake. I've just added in a 1/4 cup of orange juice. I'm gonna add my top here. And I'm gonna pulse it just for a few. And then let it rip, okay? So is mango good for your health? Absolutely. I'm gonna turn down my dish now, turn it off. This is what it looks like, guys. Can you see the curry? It smells so good, right? I'm gonna take a cup here. This dish also has vitamin C. It has vitamin A. Vitamin C also aids in immune system, right? It supports a healthy immune system. It helps your body absorb iron, and it promotes cell growth and repair. I'm gonna give this a try here. Very good. And I can see why people love it, right? It has a great note of the fresh mango. And then you have that hint of vanilla that we use with the Greek yogurt, right? So it has protein in it, right? And then I mentioned it has vitamin A. Vitamin A lowers risk of certain cancers. This is our mango Lassi smoothie, guys. Has vitamin A, good for bone health, good for eye health. And now we're gonna plate up our dish. I have my presentation plate. The serving size is a 1/2 cup of brown rice, right? Brown rice has fiber. Fiber promotes weight loss. It helps you stay full longer. And it's good for the colon. Remember the specialist said that? So we're doing a 1/2 cup of brown rice. That's the serving size.
Chef,
Yes.
there's a question about the smoothie. Can
Yes.
Ruth is asking, can I use fresh or frozen peaches instead of the sorbet?
You can use, yes, you can definitely, if you want to omit the sorbet, you can definitely do that and just use fresh or frozen. As I said before, fresh or frozen. Right now, you can use frozen, you can use fresh. It's all the same nutrients. Great question though. All right, here I have my 1/2 cup of brown rice, right? And then for our stir fry, we're gonna spoon up. The serving size is 1½ cups. It packs about 10 grams of protein, right? So it's gonna help us feel full. And if you want, guys, you can add extra spice to this. Like for me, I like to add crushed red peppers to mine. You can add a squeeze of lime to it, like a lime wedge. You can add fresh cilantro. All of those don't add any calories, right? This is our 1.5 cups of curry. And for me, I'm going to give this a taste, right? I want to make sure I get everything here. That's my happy dance when the food is good. This is our coconut chickpea curry with brown rice. We have our mango lassi smoothie, guys. And if you want, you can prep this, put it in little meal prep containers and have it for the rest of the week. Even your smoothie, you can put them in freezer safe containers. And then when you want a smoothie, instead of bringing your bad boy blender out, you just pop out your container of your smoothie, let it defrost overnight, and you have a smoothie and you have your chickpea curry for lunch or dinner. This is what I'm talking about.
Thank you, Chef.
Excellent, excellent. I just like to add to, Chef, to that with mangoes, you can also use curry mangoes. We use that in my country. You can curry mangoes with the chickpeas too. And you can also use mango salsa. So those mango is very popular. And there's so many varieties in the store. So you can choose which one you like. Excellent recipe.
And that's a great option that Sharma mentioned of mango salsa for the summer with some tortilla chips or baked tortilla chips. Or you can fresh mango over top of fish. I mean, it's awesome. This meal you'll love, guys.
Great job. I'm coming for my glass of and my portion of food in a minute.
Okay.
Thank you, Chef Kim. I can't wait to try these recipes at home.
Absolutely. And guys, let us know how you like these recipes. We'd love to hear back.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This was just another great night. We know you learned a lot and you even got to participate during the fitness and cooking demonstration segments of tonight's program. But could you tell us more about your experience by taking a few minutes to complete the evaluation as you log off? This survey is anonymous, but you have the option of leaving your name at the end. Next month, we will select a winner from those who have completed the evaluation as a token of our appreciation. Also, I want to share that the wheel you're about to see is filled with names of those of you who completed the survey from the February session and left your name at the end. So next month, you will only see your name on the wheel for a chance to win a prize if you complete the survey and leave your name after tonight's program. So right now, we're going to celebrate a February participant who completed the evaluation. Kate, would you give this wheel a spin? Woo-hoo! Annette Pickens, congratulations. Annette, as the lucky winner, you'll receive a wellness kit, which includes a stainless steel water bottle, a resistance band, a fanny pack, and tech gloves sponsored from Suburban Hospital. Our team will follow up with you via email to make sure you receive your gift. Once again, congratulations, Annette. And there's a little bit more before we let you go for the night. In the next few days, each of you will receive an email with a link to tonight's program, another copy of tonight's recipe, as well as other resources you saw throughout the night. Our hope is that you'll use these resources to help support your wellness throughout the month until we meet again. So thank you for joining us. Have a great night and hope to see you in April. Good night, everyone.